I'm so excited that I finally got these two things fitted to the bikes. It's the small details that I think make a big difference. So this little box here I created quite a while ago. It was for the starter solenoid with a rubber around the outside for vibration, and it housed inside this box perfectly. It has a hole in the side, a hole in the back for rubber grommets to run the wires through, and I was going to punch a little tiny hole in the bottom just for water to escape in case any did get in there, and a mounting point at the top, and it sits just pretty much like that in there, hidden away, and I was going to put my logo just on the front here. And that was pretty much what I originally designed, like I said, a while ago, and I've since changed my design, and now I'm going to do something a little bit different. So this is the new design. I'm probably going to 3D print something for the top front cover. It's designed to go in the same sort of spot, just say like this, and I'm going to put a front on it, a back on it, and then holes maybe at the top or the back, I'm not entirely sure, with some rubber grommets. And once again, a hole in the bottom to escape any like water or moisture that might get in there. So the main reason I pretty much changed the solenoid box was because of all these wires up here. This is the original starter solenoid, and having all these wires here was just a little bit too messy on that other solenoid box that I had. It was really squashing them down, so I thought something a little bit bigger would be better. I just hope that this fits in there nicely and has just pretty much one or maybe two wires coming out of the back of it, which will be nice and neat. So I guess we'll find out at the end if it fits. So this is the steel fabrication side of it all complete. I built it out of steel because I want it to last, and vibrations and anything's not really going to affect it. Now the next step is to build the front and back covers out of a 3D printed plastic. This is where the difficulty comes in for me, because I've never done any kind of 3D printing, CAD design, or anything like that. So I've called in a friend to try and figure out how to do it. So after a few phone calls with my friend Tom in Canada, who is quite experienced in CAD design, it was more or less just him answering my questions. And it was like, rather than him giving me the fish to eat for a day, it was like the old principle of teach a man to fish and he can eat for a lifetime. He just wanted to teach me how to use it so that I would have a bit of an understanding, and he's been on my case about doing this for quite a while. So I ended up coming up with a bit of a design with a lot of his help, and this is what I came up with. And I do want to thank Derek from Power Republic Go-Karts for printing this for me. He put his hand up when I said I needed someone with a 3D printer, and there's a few problems with it. It's got a few issues, which I'll explain in a second. I'm pretty happy with the back side, but the front side, it's got my logo on it, and you can see all the filament and everything that needs to be tidied up. The logo is one thing I want to change, because I want that logo to go in rather than stick out like it does there, because I feel like, you know, cleaning or whatever, you might knock it and I might just break those bits off. So if it goes in, or worst thing it can happen is it can fill up with dirt. So I think I'll change that. And the main thing that I'm worried about is that it doesn't actually fit. So after all that effort, getting this printed part as a prototype, it actually doesn't go in there. No matter how hard I've tried to try and force it in there, it just won't go. So there's a few little tweaks that need to be made to make it work, which kind of sucks, but it's part of making things, I guess. So hopefully I can get it to fit, and I also, hopefully we can get it to tidy up and look good. So let's get on to that. Straight out of the vapor blasting cabinet, and as you can see, the little filament rods are still there. All the little hair, I guess you would call it, is all still attached. It didn't really have the power to take those off, and that's just purely because I'm using a really fine abrasive. So an aggressive abrasive will really, not too aggressive, but just a little bit more, would really make this look magic, I think. So before I get that all fitted up on the bike, I really want to install this. This is something that was made quite a while ago for the CX500 Scrambler build. It's a bit of billet aluminium CNC cut for the fuse box. The fuse box that sits directly underneath the handlebars. This was measured and cut out of the aluminium, hollowed out underneath, and unfortunately, I don't know what happened, the measurements got mixed up and it doesn't fit. There's two of these made, there's this one with the ribs and there's one with just pretty much smooth across the top, but neither of them fit because the measurements were wrong. Like I said, I don't know what happened. For me to show you this, I need to take you inside the house, so let's go. So this guy here is the original cover, and as you can see from the holes there, one side is actually broken away. And I tried to get a new one and I thought this will be a good opportunity to actually make a custom one. And that's what you saw already. You saw this one with the ribs in it and this one here that's plain. And unfortunately, neither of them fit. This is the problem I'm having. So it fits across the top there. The sides are pretty much lined up perfectly. The bolt holes line up, but as you can see across the bottom there, or the front edge, it just has a big gap. So I've got to try and fill that out and try and figure out a way to make that work. So these guys here have actually been sitting in my workshop for months now. After they were built, they didn't fit and I just left them there and thought I'll get to that another day. Seriously won't believe it. Just as I went to fit it up, it slipped out of my hands, hit the tiles, and it dented that corner right there. It might not seem like a big deal, but after spending so much time getting this as perfect as I can around the outside, especially that bevel there, and then dropping it, I was like, duh. Anyway, let's see if it fits, and I'll sort that out later, hopefully. You know which one you prefer, the one with the lines or without the lines? So I understand this is definitely not perfect. This is my first attempt at doing anything 3D printing, so hopefully the next one turns out a little bit cleaner. And the way that I think could possibly make it cleaner is printing it the other way, because the underside is really, really smooth. So maybe printing the other way around might clean those little lines up. I'm not too sure. I'm pretty new to this whole process, so if anyone does know, leave me a comment and let me know. But let's see if this guy fits. Yes! That's so cool. I really like that a lot. I think that looks so cool. If you've enjoyed this video and you want to see a bunch of videos just like this, here's a playlist I put together. Check it out and I'll see you in the next one.